Because the vicious father had no money to find a young lady, he forcibly occupied his biological daughter for 15 years, until she became pregnant and gave birth to 4 children. Even after her daughter got married, she actually broke into the new house and violated her daughter and asked her to come home 3 times a week for him to vent his anger. What kind of perverted person can do such a heartless thing? The girl who happened in the incident in 1990 was named Xiao Hong. The man in front of her was her father, Xiao Liqiang. He looked ordinary, but he was a real devil. In 1970, Xiao Liqiang was introduced to Chen Meiyue, a girl from the next village. She was not pretty, but she was a good worker. Soon after the two met, they got married under the arrangement of their parents. At first, the relationship between the couple was okay, but as Chen Meiyue gave birth to 3 daughters and 2 sons, she continued to give birth even before the confinement period was completed, and continued working after giving birth. As a result, Chen Meiyue's figure was out of shape, and she looked yellow with age. Gradually, Xiao Liqiang began to dislike his wife, and then started to have evil thoughts. He often takes out the money at home to look for flowers and ask for help. He will not come back until he has spent all the money. When he comes back, he will continue to take out the money and spend it. Chen Meiyue naturally discovered the situation, but as a typical traditional woman, she had the concept of marrying and renting engraved in her bones. After being beaten violently once, she completely succumbed to her husband's power. Xiao Liqiang became more and more unscrupulous, but in the final analysis, she was just an ordinary farmer, and her family's income came from farming. She couldn't afford him to go out to find the girl every 2 days, and soon the family's money was spent. But Xiao Liqiang is not worried. He is penniless and racking his brains to think of good ways to be happy without spending money. After thinking about it, he set his sights on his eldest daughter, Xiao Hong Dante. At that time, Xiao Hong had just turned 18 years old. She had a slim figure and white skin, which even shone in the sun. As Xiao Liqiang watched, a perverted thought came into his mind. Sooner or later, this girl was going to ask her family to take advantage of others, so she might as well take advantage of herself first. So, on April 17th, 1990, Xiao Hong's 18th birthday, he took action against Xiao Hongdan. That night, Xiao Hong finished eating the long life cooked by her mother and was about to sleep. Suddenly, a black figure broke into his room, covered her mouth, pressed on him, and tried to violate her. Xiao Hong was frightened and went crazy, struggled desperately, but through the moonlight outside the window, he actually saw clearly that this person was none other than his biological father, Xiao Liqiang. Xiao Hong was so shocked that he could not speak. He resisted desperately, but was beaten by his father. He was knocked unconscious with 1 punch, and finally allowed this beast with a human face and a beast heart to invade him. Early the next morning, Chen Meiyue found that her daughter had a bruised nose and face, and something was wrong with her body. After questioning, Xiao Hong cried and told what happened last night. Chen Meiyue felt like she was struck by lightning. You? She never expected that her husband would do such a heartless thing, and she had a head-on quarrel with her husband for the first time. As expected, the quarrel ended in physical violence. Xiao Liqiang even became so angry that he broke his wife's leg. Soon, Xiao Liqiang's father also knew about this. The old man was furious and came to beat Xiao Liqiang with a cane, but Xiao Liqiang snatched the cane and pushed the old father hard. The old father was hit by the door. There was blood flowing on the stone, but Xiao Liqiang left without looking back. After that, Xiao Liqiang completely let himself go. He thought, since everyone already knew it, there was no need to hide it. From then on, Xiao Hong became a tool for Xiao Liqiang to vent his animal desires. Sometimes everyone was even at home. He would also pull Xiao Hong into the room to exercise, even during her menstrual period. Xiao Hong, who suffered such torture, eventually became pregnant, but Xiao Liqiang did not allow her to have an abortion, for fear that the matter would be known to the people in the village. Xiao Hong is not pregnant yet. However, he was violated by Xiao Liqiang, and a few months later he gave birth to a bullet, which was thrown into the mountains by Xiao Liqiang in the middle of the night. Xiao Hong was very weak because she had just given birth, and Xiao Liqiang was not interested in him, but he still had desires that needed to be satisfied. What should he do? He actually set his sights on his second daughter, Xiao Kaifeng, who was only 17 years old. As expected, Xiao Kaifeng also became Xiao Liqiang's plaything. When the old man found out, he was so angry that he died of a cerebral hemorrhage. More than a month later, Xiao Kaifeng was also pregnant. Xiao Hong felt sorry for her sister, helped her escape, and then aborted the child. She also gave her the money she secretly saved, and asked her to go out to work as far away as possible. It was best not to come back in this life. She herself stayed, because Xiao Hong knew very well that if she left, her mother might be beaten to death, and the youngest sister would not be able to escape her father's clutches. Chen Meiyue felt very sorry for her daughter. She cried all day long, fearing that her daughter would be tortured to death if she continued like this, so she tried every possible means to drag the matchmaker to find a family named Liu. The other party actually knew about their family situation, but because of Xia Hong, no bride price was required, so they agreed. When the news that her daughter was getting married reached Xiao Liqiang's ears, she unexpectedly did not stop her. She just replied, "I know." Everyone thought she was acting. The matter was almost over, but everyone underestimated the extent of Xiao Liqiang's perversion. More than a month later, Xiao Hong and Liu Wei got married. When they first got married, the two lived happily, but soon after, the nightmare came again. One night, Xiao Hong and her husband were sleeping soundly. Unexpectedly, someone suddenly turned on the light in the room. It turned out that it was an old guy named Xiao Liqiang, who broke into the newlyweds' room. He got drunk and started to take off his pants. Xiao Hong reflexively screamed to avoid, and Liu Wei also pushed the inexplicable father-in-law out. But Xiao Liqiang, like a mad cow, directly picked up the bricks he brought, knocked his son-in-law to the ground, and then pushed Xiao Hong down on the bed. Pad house. After you're done, pat your butt again and leave. Before leaving, he asked Xiao Hong to come back 3 times a week to vent to him. Xiao Hong was so heartbroken that she rushed into the kitchen to find pesticides and wanted to commit suicide, but was stopped by her parents-in-law. Liu Wei also woke up. Of course, they wanted to call the police, but their reputation was so great in that era. What if this happened? When the news spread in the village, the whole family couldn't hold their heads up, so they once again chose to swallow their anger. In order to avoid Xiao Liqiang, Liu Wei found an opportunity and ran away with his wife, and they went to work in other places. I thought so, Xiao Hong. And get rid of it. Unexpectedly, the lingering Xiao Liqiang found them soon and threatened them to go home quickly, otherwise, Liu Wei's parents would be killed. After the two returned home, Xiao Hong simply divorced Liu Wei and stayed at home to silently accept her father's humiliation. In 1999, Xiao Hong's third sister Xiao Yan came of age. Before anyone could react, Xiao Hong quickly sent her out to work and told her never to come back. As a result, Xiao Yan became the only girl among the 3 sisters who was not persecuted. In this way, both sisters gained a new life, and only Xiao Hong silently endured all this filth and ugliness. More than 10 years passed like this, until 2004. Xiao Liqiang finally agreed to let him work in the town. Maybe God couldn't stand it anymore and sent a person to save him, his boss. The boss noticed that something was wrong with Xiao Hong's family. The girl was in her 30s, but her father always took her home from time to time, while her mother never showed up. On several occasions, he even caught Xiao Liqiang's hands inside Xiao Hong's clothes. The boss felt something was wrong, so he talked to Xiao Hong. He didn't know if he had endured it alone for more than 10 years. As soon as someone cared, Xiao Hong couldn't help but tell all these things to his boss. After hearing this, the boss rolled his eyes. They were all frightened and told Xiao Hong to call the police, no matter what. But Xiao Hong already had a deep fear of his father. He was afraid that he would be caught again after trying to escape like before, and then receive a beating. The boss said that he would be responsible for anything that happened, and comforted Xiao Hong by saying that he was only 33 years old now, and he could still live a new life after sending the devil his father in. But if he kept indulging, he would be in trouble for the rest of his life. Living in darkness. So does Xiao Hong yearn for a new life? Of course he yearns for it. So, finally on this day in 2005, Xiao Hong mustered up the courage to walk into the police station and tell all about her experiences over the years. The police were quickly dispatched, and Xiao Hong's mother and 2 sisters also came back to testify for him. In the end, Xiao Liqiang was sentenced to life imprisonment, and Xiao Hong's day finally dawned. It is worth mentioning that in this incident, Xiao Hong's 2 younger brothers were bystanders from the beginning and have always been bystanders. They were fully capable of stopping what happened to their sister, but in the end they chose to have nothing to do with it. I have to say that Xiao Hong is pitiful and pathetic. If he had the courage to call the police when Xiao Liqiang violated Xiao Liqiang for the first time, maybe nothing in the future would have happened. 1.